Tonight, I have the privilege and the honor of introducing you to an amazing woman, Emily. You see, Emily was a victim of human trafficking, also known as modern-day slavery. Yes, slavery happening right here in our own backyard. It may be difficult to hear what I have to say tonight, but I hope you're inspired to join me in my life's work. You see, Emily grew up in the shadow of the happiest place on earth. She loved Disney movies and dreamed of going to all the Disney parks one day, but unfortunately that never happened. You see, Emily's mom was horribly addicted to opiates and could not keep a job. When Emily was 10 years old, her mom was taken to prison for drugs and she was placed in the foster care system. Emily's whole life changed. She felt alone, she felt afraid, she was confused. She said that she actually thought, what did I do? Why am I a bad person? When Emily, in her first foster care home, she was molested by her foster care brother. When she told her foster care parents what had happened, they told her she was a liar, and she never spoke about it again, even though it continued for years and years. Her happily ever after continued to fade more and more every day. Emily is just one of the many survivors that I've seen that have gone through this tragedy. Emily continued to go from foster care and be abused. But one day she met the love of her life. She met Gary on social media. And Gary paid attention to her. They FaceTimed. They chatted for hours on end. She thought, maybe I met finally my Prince Charming. After a month of chatting, they went on a date. He bought her flowers, and he just kind of really romanced her. And Emily said that was the happiest day of her life. But something else happened. He introduced her to the world of drugs. Emily said, even though it was horrible, she finally did not feel pain, and so she kept doing the drugs. So a couple of weeks after dating, he convinced her to run away from her foster parents, and they ended up in hotels and motels throughout Central Florida. When they ran out of money, Gary said, I need you to go on dates with my friends, which actually meant to have sex with strangers for money. Even though she was horrified, she knew Gary loved her, and she knew it was going to be okay. One of these incidents, she went on a date, and there was a John, that's who we refer to, who buys sex, and he asked her to do a horrific fetish that she refused. So he beat her till she was unconscious. When she told Gary, I don't want to do this anymore, you know what Gary told her? I own you. Yeah, I own you now. She was horrified, but where else would she go? She had no home. She had no family. Gary was the only one who was there for her, so she stayed. Many people don't understand that this is part of what we also know as the Stockholm Syndrome. For these victims, they've been tricked and they've been trapped, but this is the only life they know. Many survivors of trafficking have told me that they rather have this sick love than no love at all. And so Emily's story continued. One day there's a sting operation, and Emily was able to finally get out. Gary was arrested, and Emily thought she was going to go to jail for prostitution, but instead myself and my victim advocate from Florida Abolitionists were there, and law enforcement introduced us to Emily. We gave her a backpack full of hygiene, new clothes, and we told her she had a new beginning and she would have options. Emily had to go to detox for her drug addiction, and then she ended up in a safe home right here in Central Florida to begin her healing. In that safe home, she found other girls just like her that had gone through the same thing. And she says for the first time, she felt a family. She felt like people really cared about her. See, in this new beginning, in these safe houses that we assist, they're finding therapeutic programming, every kind of therapy, gardening, counseling. She even got her GED and started learning life skills. Life coach began to come to the home once a week, and Emily says that she actually started feeling again. She actually could cry and she could laugh. And so she was ready to get a job, and she ended up getting employed at a big retail store here in Orlando, and I'm happy to announce that Emily is now one of the managers at that store. She's making a difference, and she has a dream to own her own retail store in 2 years. And so why am I sharing this tonight? Because when you see someone like Emily, and you look into her eyes, and you see the hope, when that first day she was hopeless, you are never the same person again. No matter what I go through, no matter what petty sacrifices, Emily is worth it to me to do it all over again. And so as a victim advocate, I want to just state tonight that each human is worth the dignity and honor. Each human is unique, and we walk with them to see their lives restored. I take this responsibility very serious. It is my life's work. And you know why you should care tonight? Because Orlando is the number 3 city in the United States that's receiving calls from the National Human Trafficking Hotline. We are behind Atlanta, number 2, and actually in front of Miami and Las Vegas. This should stir you tonight, that we are allowing this in our own backyard. But you know what? There's hope, because no longer are we bystanders, but I want to invite you tonight. As many of you have heard, it takes a village to raise a child. I invite you into our village, our movement tonight, because each of us can make a difference. Together we are better. And you know what? If you see something, say something. In closing, I want to share with you a quote from one of my heroes, William Wilberforce, who helped stop the transatlantic slave trade in the British Empire. Quote, "You may choose to look the other way, but after tonight, you can never again say you did not know." Thank you.